Hi everyone. I have to step away from one of my current projects I'm working on right now just to distance myself a little bit. Figure I'll do some work on Puzzlebox for like an hour or so. I'm doing some documents and need to, kind of let it stew, reread it again, do all that kind of stuff. Been looking at it for a bit too long, I think. So it's perfect time. What were we doing last time? Let's see. We have our character, our enemy. We got our parent class for the character. Mostly just has combat stuff in it. We haven't done any blocking. We haven't done anything like that. I think the last thing we did was cleaned up the camera. We also set up a basic version where the camera will follow the player movement while we're kind of walking around. So you don't have to always be moving the camera, which is great. I think it's a little too strong right now, but it works, And then, yeah. And at this point, yeah. Once we get close, we get into combat. The enemy character will kind of rotate to face us. So we need to do something like get the enemy to try and fight us. I think that's what we're going to do today. Let's bring up our content folder. This guy's our speed stuff for follow camera stuff. Because it's a little fast even when we're going forward. I'm going to drop this down to 0.3 repeating. 0.05 and negative 0.05. Kind of give it a little bit nicer curve. We could even bring it down further here at 1. Right now I'm kind of capping it so it doesn't change too much here, but let's go and bring this down just a little bit more. This is like 0.8. And we're going to give it a nice little curve like this. Down to 0.3. Something like that. Okay. This one actually kind of drops down a little bit too much. So we're going to tilt this up slightly. All right. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now, camera-wise. We need to move on. So, what are we doing? Well, we got our character. We got our character interface, which is damage, death, focus, all the combat stuff, essentially. Which maybe we'll move it over to like a combat interface or something at some point, but for now it's fine. Let's open up player character 2, and yeah, let's take a look. So we got this enemy character, we got a player character, but we don't have any AI controller to tell our enemy what to do, I don't think. We have a player controller here. I don't see any AI controllers. I don't think we've made any yet. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is just the default AI controller class. So let's make an AI controller. New blueprint, AI controller. Puzzlebox, AI controller. We're going to call it AI controller enemy. And we're going to place this as our default. So this is going to be kind of like the default, circle around the player and, hit them every once in a while. Hold on one second. I gotta make one change. Okay. Right now I have chat up on an iPad to the side, just because I don't have another monitor yet. And it keeps going to sleep, so I just had to turn that off. All right, so AI stuff. We're going to end up using behavior trees, and we're going to end up using probably the EQS system that Unreal has, the kind of basic implementation of everything. Right now, let's have it where the enemy doesn't move. Let's just put it on a timer in the behavior tree of being like, okay, you have an enemy. So turn to face him, attack. Okay, wait. Turn to face him, attack. Okay, wait. You know, that kind of thing. So we need a couple things. One is behavior tree. Another one is the Blackboard stuff. So let's go ahead and start adding those in. Behavior tree, Blackboard. We're going to call this puzzle box. I'm going to call it behavior enemy. This is our standard enemy behavior tree. You know what? I'm just going to call this Blackboard. Blackboard enemy. And this one we're going to call BT for behavior tree enemy. And we'll come up with a better name than enemy, but it's kind of our generic fallback kind of thing. Just like this, guy is our parent class. He's going to have very little in terms of doing anything interesting. He just needs to set up everything so that when we make our subclasses, we can build off of it really quickly and easily. So we have these things we need to pop in. So let's do that real quick. We have our AI controller enemy. I'm sorry, AI controller enemy. And then we got a behavior tree that we need to start using. All right, so in here, we're going to say run behavior tree. And we also need to do a Blackboard. Use Blackboard. Okay. We're going to connect these and we're going to drop them into a collapsed graph. Toss a comment on it. And again, I'm not commenting as well as I should. But always looks a little nicer. This is just going to be I cannot spell. Run behavior tree. And of course it does the other stuff too, but it's kind of a part of it. I don't know if you can really run a behavior tree without a Blackboard. I'm not sure if it just gives you the default one if you don't give it one. But we need all of our certain variables, so we're going to use the Blackboard. We should. This is our Blackboard, and this is our behavior tree. As long as this works, we're good to go. This really shouldn't fail. Behavior tree enemy, all that's great. And we can just toss in a print string here. Just for our sake, which is Blackboard failed, and then this one, of course, is behavior tree failed. Okay, next. All right, now that we have those, we should be able to get it and use it. We could save out the component here, but I don't think we need to. I think we can just say get Blackboard. And it has one set up for us inside the AI controller by default. So it should set that for us automatically, if I remember correctly. Okay, so next, inside our behavior tree, inside our Blackboard. This is a Blackboard enemy, so by default it set it up kind of nice. What we're going to do is a couple things. One is ask if we're alive, otherwise we're not going to be doing anything. So this is just a fail-safe in case our, for whatever reason, it's not adding the key. Oh, that's not good. Come on. There we go. That's weird. Oh, see, it didn't quite connect the two of them yet. So we still need to do that. That's fine, though. Maybe it did. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Be alive. By default, this needs to be true. And it needs to say, hey, when I die, don't run anything in the behavior tree. And of course, we're going to try and shut down the behavior tree and AI logic anyway, once the character dies. That's kind of inside the character class for our enemy, so in here. But it's kind of, again, a failsafe. We also need in here a target. So we're going to do an object called current target. This is just going to be something that the enemy is fighting. Can I make it an actor? Yeah. So here we have this base class that we can call it. And I want it to make sure it's always just an actor. We don't care what kind of actor, as long as, you can fight that thing. And then we'll implement our, combat interface on it if we ever get to a point where we need an object that isn't a character to fight. All right, so next, let's jump in the behavior tree and start setting some of this stuff up. We're going to do, actually, first one's going to be stop hidden sequence. We want a selector. So although this is the root, technically this is our root for when we're selecting stuff. And by default, we're going to throw, I'm trying to remember which side it should be on. Do we start on the left side or the right side? I don't know. I haven't dealt with this in a little bit. It's all right. We'll learn at the same time. So on one side, let's say the right side, we're going to have it where if the enemy is already dead, don't do anything. That's going to be a sequence, or technically you can put in something else, but I'm doing I could just toss in a wait timer. Wait. And 5 seconds or something like that's totally fine. AI dead. But we never get here if we are alive. So we add a decorator. Isn't that what it's called? I can't tell. Whatever. I don't use this enough. All right. And we don't really need to abort this ever. Once we become dead, we're probably not coming back from the dead. And even if we do, we'll figure it out then. So we're going to say it's not set. Be alive is not set, meaning it's false. Let's just give it a quick name, which is going to be check alive. We're going to do the same thing over here. Composite, and instead of that, we're going to do a selector. So we're alive, what should we be doing? We're going to copy and we're going to paste alive. This one, we're going to abort everything. Or, I think we can abort just self, not lower. Lower would be over here. We don't need to abort this. We just need to abort our alive section. And technically, this is, again, more of like our root. Just because when we're here, we don't do anything anymore. All right, so next, let's do a couple different states. One is enemy doesn't have anything to do. It should technically kind of move around or do something at some point, but we're not going to worry about that yet. For now, he's going to stand and wait. Once he gets a target, then he's going to go in and attack. So we need two different paths. We have one, which is going to be a wait, which is no target. And we have another one, which is face and attack target, which we're just going to put a wait on for it now. But, you know, we can just do it as a sequence. Yeah. And then a wait underneath it for the time being. So, we need another Blackboard check here. And this one is going to be for our current target. We're going to say not set. And if we get a Blackboard target, we're going to abort ourselves. Yeah, just self, because we don't need to abort this one. The wait for 5 seconds is fine, because it doesn't matter right now. I'm going to call this no target. Copy paste. This one is going to be has target. And this one is set. We'll rename this sequence to, we'll just call it attack for now. But it'll eventually include things like the character will move back and forth and they'll, do something. So, we could call it attack pattern or combat. Let's call it combat. I'll just call this one alive. And this one we can call root. Even though that's also a root. Which, I feel like maybe they should just make this into a selector, but technically maybe you shouldn't. Maybe there should be a reason. Like this goes directly into a sequence, I guess. All right. So this works, but we also want to move some things over. So right now, our AI, by default, we set the focus to our player through here. Now this works, this is great, but we might as well kind of implement it into the behavior tree so that we can control that focus a little bit more as well as just deal with some stuff. I don't know if we should. So here's one problem. We have a focus target. We're setting focus on the AI. That's wonderful. I think that there was an issue a while back, if I remember right, where if I want to set the focus in here, and you're essentially doing a service, and you're saying, okay, our default focus. If you don't want anything in here, and you do none, let's see if this happens. I go back to it, yeah. It automatically puts something else in there. So we could... I think we could put it as a null in our Blackboard. And that might work. Object, call it a null target. So we have a current target and we have a null target. This can also be an actor, but we're never going to set it. It's essentially used to just be null. Let's see if that works, maybe? Because I would rather keep it all in one place as opposed to spreading it out among a bunch of different things. The other thing we could do is when we change back to having no target, have a event called essentially in here which says set your target to none. That would work too. For now, let's just see if this works at all. Focus no. I set that to null target, and there we go. So let's give this a shot. Right? What else do we need? Oh, well, we need to set it up to use any of this stuff. First thing we're going to do is set ourselves to be alive, because we always have to do that right away. Otherwise, our stuff is never going to run. So we're going to get blackboard. I'm going to make sure that it exists already, although it should. I don't think it takes any time to set this. Like, I don't think it takes a frame or so. Something like that. I think it's instant. Set Boolean. Set value as Boolean. And what we're going to do is set up. We're going to have to drop this down. Make a little bit extra room. Promote to variable. We're going to call this the name. So this is going to be, what do we call it? Be alive, right? Yeah. So it's be alive name. And in here it's going to be called be alive. So our default is the name. We're just calling it whatever the variable name is plus name, just because that's the variable type. Okay, so we're setting it to true, and then we should be able to run through our behavior tree. We should be able to get a target or not once we switch over this, instead of doing it this way. So instead, setting our focus, we need to tell the AI controller that we are focusing this thing or something like that. I prefer using the event. So essentially what happens is that the AI is informed that we've set our target to something, as opposed to like always checking, being like, okay, what's our target now? Okay, what's our target now? What's our target now? So let's see if we can do that here. We're going to get our AI controller. And we could do something like this, where we set the focus target using the blueprint interface. Let's take a look at that. Trying to think. Let's take a look at it. So blueprint interface, we have a bunch of things that we might not need in the player controller, or the AI controller really, or both. Enter damage state, enter death state. Some of that stuff would be useful though. Set focus targets useful. Returning the focus location isn't really. But entering and exiting combat and things like that, that's all kind of useful, right? I mean, the other issue is, so the player character has their focus stuff being set kind of this way. Through just the characters itself, whereas the AI won't. So that's an inconsistency, although I would like to have all the AI stuff in one place. It does split everything up, you know. But having the ability to do like this kind of stuff is really, really nice. So I would like to do that in here. Yeah. Okay, I'm convincing myself. We do have to do it in here just so that I can do stuff, you know. Especially as we get more and more complicated AI going. We don't want to have to like rely on it being set somewhere else. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we could potentially set the focus here. And that gets called when we enter combat, right? So we're going to enter combat, which sets our focus target. And then we set, we're in combat. And that's only as long as we have a target to actually focus. So we attempt to do this, and if it fails, then we can't enter combat. We have no one to fight. Which I think would be right. Okay. See, it still causes some problems, though. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. In order for us to enter into combat, which is important for our AI, we may have to kind of override some of that stuff. And instead of setting our focus, just say, hey, you have a target. Here's the character or characters you're going to be fighting. And then let the behavior tree basically take care of the rest. So this part here, set focus target, we might keep it as the parent thing, which would mean that our parent class says set focus target. Where is it? Set focus target. And it does this. It sets our target, makes sure it's valid, and then it sets this orient to movement, right? So, we may have to use this specifically for our AI, because if we don't, then we don't have this stuff being called either. Yeah, this stuff gets complicated. Ultimately, you can just kind of throw stuff at it and hope it works, but I hate doing that. I really like to have a plan in mind. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're going to change this. Instead of being current target, this is going to be called focus target. And this will still be null target. We still need things like, are you in combat or not? In case the AI is focusing something but is not in combat for whatever reason. But yeah, let's say screw the rest. We're doing this. We're setting the focus, but we're not setting it right here. We're going to just set the focus target in the behavior tree and nowhere else. So we delete that. Let's jump back to our enemy AI, and we're going to implement our blueprint interface for our characters, which again, eventually we might have to split out into kind of separate pieces, but right now we're not. So blueprint interface for characters. Let's do event focus, set focus target. And what this will do is allow us to do it like this, set focus target. Message. Okay. Now, what we're going to say, focus target is whatever we're passing it. So this could be null if we want to get rid of the target. And everything else should work as intended. It's just kind of a one extra step, which is annoying, but what are you going to do? I think it's better than trying to like circumvent it from the parent class or something like that, at least for now. Because potentially you could go into the parent class and say, hey, are you an AI or are you a player? And make choices there. But it's kind of nice being able to just do the same for everything and then say, okay, AI does something slightly different. You know, it's the beauty of having these children classes and whatnot. It makes things a little easier, I think. So, next, in our AI, where did I put that? AI controller. We need to set this. Do we need a variable in here for it? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we could potentially just I don't know. We could just remove it still. I keep thinking about this. I'm like, do we really need it? Do we not? Okay, so here's the deal. We might. So in my head, I'm imagining this situation. You have an enemy that builds up a big attack and swings forward. So it takes, like maybe a second. Player dodges around them. And then because we're not ever changing that focus, we either have to stop the rotation of that enemy, or we could technically set the focus to null. And I think that he remains in whatever direction he is until the attack lands. And of course, if he can't turn while he's attacking, then it misses and the player dodges, and that's great. And then we put the focus target back on. On the other hand, we could just leave focus target completely alone and set the character rotation rate basically to 0 while he's attacking, which might be a little better. I don't know. I'm wasting too much time. We're going to just kill it. We're going to go back to what worked. And I'm just going to remove this for now. And just wipe my hands clean. I need to stop worrying about it. It's time to just make things. Okay. I think this actually works because again, this could come in as null. Now let's just double check, make sure it's still working because I'm, doing too much stuff now. Okay. He's following us, and that's great. If I leave, does he still follow us? Is now the question. Oh, where are the stairs? There it is. Okay. No. No, maybe? I can't tell. Hold on. Still following us? He is. Okay, what happened? So set focus isn't working for our enemy. How come? Oh, wrong one. Okay, so we got these. Set focus. Exit combat happens. And we say, are we in combat? Okay, set focus to nothing. Go here, set focus to nothing. We set this value. Then in here, new focus should be nothing. So why is it not? Let's double check and make sure that this is being called. Okay, set focus gets called. New focus is me. Good. Okay. Now we're back, and yeah, it doesn't get called. Huh. Why is that? End overlap. Exit combat. So exit combat gets called for both things. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. Here's the problem. So here's our actor. This is the player. They're leaving the combat zone, so we tell them, hey, you've exited combat. And now we're saying the exact same thing a second time. We should have put self in here, which is telling us we exited combat. Okay. That's a mistake from before, so I'm glad we caught it, even though it took way too long. Okay, good. Oh, let's leave that on. Just test it. Okay. Oh, come on. Where are these stairs at? No, they're here somewhere. There we go. Yep, so it gets hit. Now let's tap to move real quick. That's another thing we can do is after you move, don't automatically move the camera for the player for a couple seconds, or for at least 1 second. Okay, that's there. We're good with this. That's great. Okay. Back into our enemy stuff. Let's do enemy here. Okay, so we have a target, and that's great. We don't want enemies like swinging wildly at nothing. So I think kind of in typical like circle strafing kind of combat, the character will kind of like shuffle forward a little, shuffle to the side, shuffle backward. But they're not going to just swing at air if they're like 20 feet away. So we need to check. We need to do like a wait, and eventually we'll do some movements and things, but right now it's just wait, check to see if we're close enough, and then attack. So for us, we need to basically just say, hey, are you close enough? right here when we do the wait. So we wait, we say, where would it be? Move to, finish results, sequence. I mean, maybe we don't have one. Do we have a decorator that'll work for us? Otherwise we gotta make one. Cooldown keeping cone is at location. That might work. Yeah, it gives us an acceptable radius. Yeah, so something like that'll work. Let's delete it from here. Instead, we're going to say play animation. This is going to be our attack. And we're going to have to take a look at what animation we want to play. Character. Animations. Okay. So we got a bunch of attacks right here. So we got attack 1 through 4, 5, 6. We're just going to do like attack 1. Attack 1A. Or, we'll do attack 2. Nice little swing down like that. Although, so typically, we may want a couple more frames before the swing happens, because right now it's at 5 frames. There's like no raising it up. It's just, it starts here. There's a nice long recovery phase. But here we have, right here it ends. So it's 7 to 4, which is a good speed for the swipe, but 4 frames before that's pretty quick. Because you have to be able to get out of the way. We'll look into that. There's a couple ways we can fix that even in editor. Basically adding a couple frames before this and easing into it more. But melee attack 02 is what we're going to use. Okay. Non-blocking. If true, the task will just trigger the animation instantly. Forget. We don't want that. We want this to wait until it's done. Perform attack. We eventually also want to be able to switch up what attacks are happening or do multiple attacks at the same time. And we can kind of build that through the behavior tree if we would like, of okay, now they're doing a combo. Now he's just doing the big mega attack. Now he's doing this, and we'll just kind of have it come through everything. But before we perform this attack, we're just going to check and say, hey, are we close enough? Is that location? Okay. Close enough. And we want to make sure this is a little bit bigger, maybe 150. And we're not going to be doing pathfinding or anything like that. Use navigation goal location. I think that one's fine though. Yeah, we want to use geometric. Yeah, which will actually turn that off. That's fine. Distance 3D is fine too. If they're way above us, we don't want to try and be attacking them. If you do 2D distance, it'll just be horizontally, stuff like that. But only if we're close enough do we do this thing. If not, we're gonna, not do anything, and we'll wait. For now, do we even need that? I don't know. Let's leave this open. Let's see. And let's vary this up by about a second. So every 4 to 6 seconds, or we're gonna drop this down to 3. So every 2 to 4 seconds right now, we attack. Let's just see if this works. I'm not seeing it yet. Is it not running? It should be running. Check alive should not fail. Check alive should be true. Be alive is true. Be alive. Oh yeah, but I'm probably not going to have a target because we probably didn't set that yet. But this is already a problem. What's going on here? I don't think this is quite working the way it should. What's going on here, guys? Be alive is true right here. No, because I didn't change it here. Is set. Well, I thought I did change that. What happened there? Pretty sure I did. I don't know. I guess I'm not very smart. Okay, so we're good. We're there. Let's double check the has target stuff by saying, okay, we need to make sure we set that. Okay, so we're setting the focus here, like we were talking about before. We still need to tell our Blackboard when the AI is focusing something. So let's check to see if the AI has an event for that. Otherwise, we have to bring over the blueprint interface like I had before and basically do it just in the AI. Event, focus, make focus event, clear user focus, set user focus. No, that's for widgets. All right, yeah. So we're just going to add this back on. Being super indecisive today. Sorry about that. Okay, and then I'm back to my character. Yeah. We're going to just take this stuff. Oh, not that. I meant this one. And we're going to do set focus. Set focus. Target. Interface call. No, it's not going to do it there. So set focus target message. There we go. Okay. And now, once again, we're going to be in here. Event set focus target. Oh. What happened? This was supposed to have it. Did I not add this on? Oh, it's not working. Oh, that's not good. Is it because I had focus target still there? Let's try that again. Maybe it's because I had the function still in there from last time. Yeah, because I had this thing here. I didn't want to do it because it had a kind of like conflict essentially. What we can do is get a controlled pawn here. And we'll actually just call the same thing on it, which is return focus location, since our characters have this implemented correctly. So the AI just uses the character one. I know it's kind of a little convoluted right now, but that's all right. We'll get there. We'll clean it up a bit. Event, set focus target. And we're going to say, whatever comes out of here, we're going to set focus to this. And then, beyond this, we're going to take the same thing, get focus actor, and we're going to set our set actor, we'll actually get Blackboard first, and we can say is valid as well, as we're going to be picking, actually, is valid. What the other is valid. This guy. Although I think the focus target, I wonder if we could set it here to be null, because it doesn't matter in the Blackboard. Like the Blackboard here, once that gets null, this target thing, totally fine to not worry about trying to use like a null target kind of thing. We might be able to get away with deleting that, which would be nice. Set actor, or set object, is it? Set values object, yeah. And we're going to say our focus actor and give it our focus name, which we did what? Focus target? Yeah, focus target. Focus target name. And of course, you gotta make sure you do focus target in here. Let's go ahead and collapse. Focus. Okay. Perfect. Okay. This is good. We're all set. We're setting the focus in the Blackboard itself. So we should get to this point here. We should be checking. Let's actually make this a little smaller and keep it on the side here. Oop. Just for a minute. Let's see. Yep, we have target now. Okay. Let's see if we get close enough. Yeah, there we go. It's going to wait and it's going to attack. At least it should. Yep, there we go. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay. Oh, but you see that? As I attack him, his animation still tries to play, and it all conflicts. So a couple things. One is I think we need to, instead of doing this as just an animation to play, we probably should be putting it into a animation montage or something, you know. Or into the animation blueprint itself, you know. We're not going to do that right now, though, because it's fine. Don't worry. We're more worried about gameplay than animations, you know, being perfect. Speaking of which, we still have to do quite a bit in terms of attack setup. We'll get there. We're not going to do it this time, but so freeze frames and a bunch of things like that we still have to set up. But we have this and it works. That's great, you know. We could, you know, potentially set up like a quick EQS kind of thing where we get this guy to move around before he, you know, starts attacking. Sure, let's do it. Let's do it real fast. As fast as we can, at least. All right. First thing, I gotta enable EQS, which I don't remember where it is. Yeah, AI EQS. It's under Edit Preferences. Save it. Close it. Wait, I think that was right, wasn't it? I should read it. Yeah, so that's the system. There's another setting somewhere, probably in like the project settings, where you can tell EQS, I think, to run off of like something other than controllers or something like that. So I want to make sure that I wasn't doing that one instead of the just enabling. All right, back in content. Let's jump to characters, enemy. We're going to do new EQS stuff, which is, yeah, there we go. So EQS. Well, this is just environment query, right? So it's EQ. Circle step, I call. So I'm going to call it a circle step, but it's the idea that our AI is essentially going to kind of move forward and backward around the player in like a half donut kind of thing. They got a couple options of where to go. They have a version of it where they want to move slightly away. They have a version where they want to move closer, kind of a little dance between the player and the AI. And then they move as close as they can, and they try and hit you. So it could be completely random. We could do like basically a half donut and do a couple points that are going to be too far away for him to attack. And when he goes to those, it's basically just waiting. He's just hanging out. And if the player does come up to him, then he could attack, but he's not really trying. And then, as soon as he goes to a point that's really close to the player, then he still does the attack. I think that would be good. So let's do this. Let's do... they have a donut. I'm trying to remember if I can do like a half donut with this. Can we? Yeah, arc. Okay, so we also need to showcase what this is, right? So we're going to do that with another blueprint. This is going to be the EQS pawn. EQS testing pawn. Select EQS test pawn. We're going to drop them in. This just shows us all the testing. I don't think we have to do anything else in here for them. I think we can just drop it in. And then in here, we're going to say circle step. Yeah. Okay. Now we can mess with all of this stuff. Oh, come on. Okay, right now, essentially what we should be doing is saying, hey, whatever target we have, we need to get that target as our querier. Or not our querier, but our whatever else it is. Because right now this is as if it were the bad guy. Our enemy is this pawn, right? So we need one more thing. Which is going to be... what is it called? Maybe under blueprint, I think. It's not EQS, it might be... environment query context. That's it. Okay, so environment query context. Query context. Target. Let's say current target. Which essentially just says, hey, who are we trying to hurt right now? And in here we got a couple functions. Provide single actor is what we want. We want to return the single actor. Query object and query actor. Good question. I don't know which one's which. I can't remember. Let's do a quick test. Let's do a cast to testing pawn. We're going to do a print string. Okay. And I need to go into my circle step and add this in. Okay, so in here we have a arc mode between the querier and nothing, So we need to say this is going to be our current target. So we're going to drop that in. Let's save, and I don't see the print string coming up. I wonder if it only comes up. No. All right, let's try the other one then. Object. Oh, I'm not running it though, so pressing play is going to do nothing, I don't think. I was hoping it was going to show me what each of these is, but it's not. So let's not worry about it right now. I'm not going to go to more trouble to set that up. Instead, we're just going to do a quick hack, which is going to say other is valid. If our other actor is not valid, our query or actor. What we're going to have to do is cast. We're going to cast this to our character. Or I wonder if, can we do a return focus location? I need to get target. Like I need to return the focus. We could return the focus location actually. Since I already have that, let's just use it. Provide single location. And we're going to say return focus location. That way I don't have to do the other thing right now. And this still works, because essentially we're just looking for a location. And if this is basically failing, we shouldn't be getting here anyway. But for now, that's fine. We should be getting this to 0, 0, 0 if this is coming through. Two points. Let's do 90 degrees. All right, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's working. So this is always going to face 0, 0, 0 right now because it thinks that that's, where the player would be technically. All right, we're going to drop this down to like 100 and 300. Now here's the problem. This is from our enemy's perspective, which means that if we're way over here, the only thing we can do is move back and forth between these spots. We don't want that. We want you to basically be making this around the player. So instead, we're going to be flipping this around. And we're going to say from our target to our querier. That's not going to work. Generate around the querier. Where is that? There's got to be a thing for it. Here we go. Center. Target. I don't know if this will work the other way. Not item. Target. Yeah, see, we don't want it that way. We do want it the other way. Okay. So, at 0, 0, 0, would be on the ground. Number of rings, 3. If we go further, this is getting pretty crowded. We're also going to do something like this, the spiral effect, I think. What that does is kind of just messes with all these. Well, that's pretty harsh in terms of that spiral. Maybe we're just going to drop this down, increase this slightly, and make more rings. No, not that way. Let's do 3 there, but more like 12 here or something. 125. What's our radius on this guy? Just for now. Pawn collision is 100. Yeah, so you could keep it at 100. This kind of inner ring. I'm going to say 120 is more like what we want. Just so we're not constantly like pressing up against the player, I guess. You don't really want to overwhelm them too much or anything. Let's do that. Let's do 4. Something like that's pretty good, I think. A couple other tests we can do. Number 1, we're just going to do pathfinding. Can we get there? Are we able to? If not, get rid of it. Distance. I'm going to say distance to our querier. Instead of like getting this and always like randomly getting placed at the exact location he's already at, our enemy, let's make sure that we're always moving somewhere else. So we're just going to score, and we're going to say that, let's do a square. What we want to do is say, you want to go to things that are further away from you. So these guys here, you can see that the score on these ones is a little bit lessened than those ones over here, although these aren't getting on the navigation mesh, unfortunately, right now, because it's just too high up. 0, 0, 0 is up, a bit too high for it. So, distance to query, or things that are further away are more valuable technically, and we can just use this as linear, so that we don't have too many. Like, he could still possibly go to this one next to him here, but more likely he's going to be going somewhere over here. I think that's good. We're actually just going to leave this alone now and give it a shot. So let's delete that guy. Yeah, get rid of him. Minimize. Let's jump back into my behavior tree. What we're going to do is say, how do we want to handle this? We can either do a wait timer and have him just move for X amount of time, or we can just do a number of movements, like every 3 or so movements, randomly. But we can do task run EQS query, and we want to save out a move location. So new key, it's going to be a vector. We're going to call this move location. And back in the behavior tree, we're going to be setting that. Move location. This is all deprecated here. Where is it? Okay, so this is the new stuff here. Circle step. I think we can leave all this empty. We're going to do the best from the 25% because we want it to be pretty random, but still, kind of spread out a bit. Yeah, that should be good. This wait timer might want to get rid of, and let's see if I can do not a sequencer selector, do X amount of times. We also can do a set a cooldown. Let's see if we have it. Tag cooldown. We're going to call this one an attack. We don't need to do the tag part of it yet. Let's just do a regular cooldown. I want to say that the tag is probably something where, okay, so all of the attacks can't be done all at the same time, So it makes sure that if there's another couple things like different attacks over here, that once we attack, we don't do those ones either because we've done an attack. So the tag, helps cool down everything all at the same time. We'll say cooldown, and you can't attack 2 seconds. You have to wait 2 seconds. 2 seconds is long enough, I think, especially for like an action game. Might be too long. We'll see. So we run the EQS query. We're actually just delete the wait. We can actually add a wait in here on this side, but make it really small. 0.2 and 0.1. We could even make it shorter. We're going to do a move to, and it's going to be our EQS updated move location. Acceptable radius, I don't know, let's say 20 or 50. Something like that's fine. But I'm looking for like a do X number of times kind of thing, which I thought they had. Could always run a timer and this at the same time, which is like a parallel. How does this work? Leaves this branch. Main task, nodes running in the background. So is the main task the one that has to abort? I think. Finish mode is immediate. Main task is finished. Let's see. And this one will only do, all right, we could do a sequence though. Sequence, and we can say that it's not immediate, that it's delayed to whenever this is done. And we can do a wait timer like this, which, we're going to say again, like, I don't know, 3 seconds and 1 second deviation. Or, however long it takes you to do the last move. Let's do that. Let's minimize. Let's try it out. It'll probably break. I don't know. We'll see. That's how a design goes. Yeah, see, he's not moving at all. Let's see why. This is stuck here. It's not going to the next one for some reason. Interesting. Stop. That's not what we want. Because this is basically like a key for the template for this guy. We don't want that. We do want to use this. Let's see where this is breaking down though. Because maybe, you know, maybe it's just the behavior tree, because I haven't used these a lot. It could be that I'm using it incorrectly. Let's actually just do this. And we're going to delete that for now and give it a try and see if our stuff is actually just working in general. So there's no, it just does one movement, tries to attack, does one movement, tries to attack. But no, it's not. We're still getting invalid for move location. So this EQS thing is not working. This is still true and this is still true, but our move location is not. It's failing here. So let's see why. Let's jump to this one as well and see. Oh, come on, there we go. Let's do this. Target is enemy 2, return focus location. Query actor. Enemy. So it is getting something, and we are doing this, but our location is 0. Let's step forward. Mash target. Oh, here we go. Here's the problem. I'm doing this backwards. Return focus location isn't who you're focusing. It's where on my body is the focus location that someone would be focusing me at. So we do need a extra piece in our blueprint interface, or, I mean, yeah, I think so. Because it actually doesn't matter where our target is, where we're supposed to be like looking at the focus location. We are just interested in who is our target. So we have a set focus target, but we need also a return focus target to get that. And this, we're going to do a actor called focus. All right. It's a slow day today. Okay, this is good. Back in our main character stuff, interfaces, let's compile, set focus target, or return, I mean, get focus. Yeah. And this should be the same for basically everything. We're never going to override this, at least right now. All right, back in our target stuff here, remove that, delete. We're actually going to delete the single location. We're going to provide a single actor like I was trying to do before. This is going to be return focus target. Which now that we have a target in our AI, it is going to get passed, you know, to the behavior tree properly, or the EQS really. Oh, he is moving. Oh, he's quick. Ooh, I gotta slow it down. I was like, is the camera messing up? No, it's just him. He's crazy. All right, so what's going on? He's not moving fully. Huh. So that plays. Do we ever get to the other stuff? Huh. What is going on? Shouldn't this succeed? It's succeeding here. Sequence. So the sequence should go this direction. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Has target is set to true. Yeah, EQS is messing up on me. What's going on here? I don't remember. I'm not sure how EQS is supposed to work then. I thought it was just to call it. And then it moves on like it's successful. It's good. Especially since I am getting a move location. Sure, we can ignore the reset self stuff, but why would this not work? Move location, move to, move location is the Blackboard key. I'm not using any of the deprecated stuff. This is weird. Come on. That should just work, shouldn't it? Okay. Yeah, it's just stacking up though. It doesn't move forward. Why? Well, it's saying it's invalid. Why is this invalid all of a sudden? Uh-oh, I can't even get out of this now. Okay, interesting. What am I doing wrong? Do I not have navigation mesh? I have to have a navigation mesh, yeah. Oh, look at this. That's not right. We're blocking our movement. I bet he's stuck. Oh, I'm glad I brought up the mesh. All right, so back in our character, pawn collision stuff. Let's take a look at this. This is an obstacle. Did I do that on purpose? I don't remember. See, there we go, which is fine, because we want it to be an obstacle, which means that they can move through it. They just won't if they can help it, you know, if there's a better route to go. Which in our case, this guy should say, like, no, there shouldn't be a route to go through this ever, you know. Otherwise, we just need to turn that off completely and say, you know, that's what we're going to do. Pawn collision, we're not going to use this to affect our navigation at all. So there's a can affect navigation. Can't ever affect navigation. Let's turn that off. And in here, we're going to say undo and undo. Compile, save. Let's move it. Okay. It's still stuck thinking it's there, so. Let's see. No, that didn't work. Ugh, come on, just let me erase that. I guess I gotta move the volume, which I think is this. Let's bring it back. No, it's still a dynamic obstacle. Come on, guys. Turn that off. Alright, affects navigation now. What is blocking that? No. Come on, Unreal. I'm almost positive there's nothing here that you would be blocking. Come on. I don't want to build lighting right now. Just build paths. What the hell, guys? I'm gonna have to like turn this back on, move it into place, and move it out of place. Okay. Can affect navigation. Just toss back on obstacle. Or you know what? Let's just do default. And erase it. Jeez. No, it's still there. That is not good. Alright, screw it. I'm gonna kill this, kill that. We're gonna remove this can affect. Compile and save. And it's still messed up. I'm also going to zero this back out. Let me save and reopen. Do I have another level? Yeah, there's a Minions level that I opened up. It's like their Epic Games test level thing. Yeah, these guys. Okay, now let's jump back to it. Yeah, there we go. Jeez, come on. Navigation mesh, what are you doing? Okay, now that that's cleared up, let's hope that it works. Okay, yeah, he is fast. But yeah, so now you can see the little dance that we're going to be doing. Yeah, so as long as you're close enough, he's going to try and do it. And he has a fast attack. So that's going to be real hard to dodge. All right, couple things. One is let's slow this guy down a lot. Walk speed's probably default, so it's like 600. Yeah. We're going to make him 150. How fast is the player character, actually? Let's take a look at when we're in combat. What's our movement speed? Combat. Setup. That's not it. No, I guess we don't change it. So what's our default movement then? Default movement is 500 for a walk speed. So this is one of those choices where when you enter into combat, you could potentially slow the player down slightly more. The idea being that, okay, if you're not navigating, you're not trying to get from point A to point B, then whatever like movement speed that combat should be at, just change it to it. You know, combat should be kind of tailored for combat, not whatever else is happening. It's okay to make these like slight adjustments. So for us, max walk speed at like 500 is great for exploring because you can move pretty quick. You could even have like a sprint technically if you like hold forward long enough. You know, it boosts you up all of a sudden. But when we enter combat, kind of want to change that a little bit. So where's our combat stuff? Don't know if I have it. Yeah, here we go. Enter combat state. We're doing this. So let's also change our movement speed a little bit. And let's change the enemy movement speed as well. We're going to do this. Set. And if we were doing more like a PC or a console kind of game, slowing them down might not be the best idea. Because you want them to feel like empowered and moving quick when you're in combat. But we're going to say walk speed combat. We're going to toss this under movement. And we even could do movements with a subcategory of combat. And then we're also going to duplicate and say walk speed. You could say default or navigation. Navigation kind of sounds like AI though. Let's just do that for now. We'll change it later if we need to. Okay, so we got that. So when we exit combat, we go back to our other speed. but instead it's going to be default. All right, let's compile, save, let's make changes. Default speed, it was 500, and our combat is going to be, let's just drop it down to like 400. Again, I'm slowing it down a little bit because we're actually a mobile game, and I want to make a lot of this stuff a little bit more deliberate. So you can't just like constantly move like this. You know, you have to do like a dodge or something. Okay, so he's also going to be super fast still, right? Or no, we changed it. Okay. All right. We do that. We do this. Okay. So he's a little bit slower. It's pretty slow though. I think it's a bit too slow. Let's up this to like 200 or 300. It also depends on his animations as well. That's something we could look at real quick. How fast should he move just animation-wise? Because you can exaggerate it and get away with quite a bit, but I don't want to do it too much. There'll be a point where it's a little bit overkill. All right, what have I set up here? Set up a default slot and an idle. And it just plays default idle. Let's do new state called movement. All right, and this is going to be greater than, float greater than. And we're going to make a float for this guy. Promote to variable. This is our current speed. So current speed. And we can actually duplicate this as current direction. There we go. So going back to here, it's less than or equal to 0. So whenever our speed's 0, we go back to the idle. Whenever we are moving, we're going to do our blend space for movement, whatever that is. Let's see. Do we have a blend space for movement? A walk or a move. What would it be called? There's a melee sprint. There's a melee run. Melee jog. Okay, so they have a jog, a sprint, an idle, and all that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start creating one it'll just throw basically all those into a quick blend space. Create. No. Add new animation. Blend space. Normal. This is going to be for our, what's it called? Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember what skeleton this is. Skeleton is just minion skeleton. Okay. New asset, animation, blend space, just minion. Minion skeleton. There you go. Blend space. Movement. I say minion movement. Okay, we're gonna do speed as the. Oh no, this one's gonna be direction. That's horizontal, and they do it negative 180 by 180. 4 is fine for the grid. This one's speed. And 4 is fine. Average interpolation is fine for now. That's good. Speed value, though. So we go from 0 to, like, I don't know. I'm going to try like 400 for now. I don't know how these animations really work, so we'll see. I'm going to do jog. All right, so we got right, left, backward. We should have a jog forward, shouldn't we? Oh, what is this? Ooh, we might have one set up for us. Yay, I don't even have to do this then. This is just in some other location though. Browse to asset. It's under animations blend space. How did I miss this? It's right there. What am I doing? All right, get rid of that. I'm just terrible today. Oh well. Still fun. Okay, back in here. What do we got? Movement. We're going to do this. Blend space. Let's jog one. That's the right one, right? Yeah, that's the right one. And then we're going to do direction. We're going to do speed. Let's take a look at what they set up, because I'm pretty sure this is set up by Epic. I don't think I did it. Yeah. So they're idle. So it's 0. And as they go up to 50, they're jogging already. And then as they go up to 527. Interesting. Oh, let's keep it like that, because I don't really mind. And they probably set it up for a reason that way. Okay. So let's do event init. And we're just going to say, for now, get pawn. Try to get pawn owner. We're going to just cast this to character for now. You know what? We can cast it ours. Cast to. Well, do we need to? We could just promote to a variable, because we're going to be doing everything through like a blueprint interface. I'll call this minion. We're going to do a tick. No, that didn't. Let's do update animation. There we go. No, not called tick. All right, and then we're going to do, as long as we have the minion, we need to get the speed and direction. So we're going to say get velocity and get actor rotation. We're going to do calc direction. And we're going to set direction. And we're going to also do length for this guy. And set speed. Okay, something like that. And then let's collapse it down. Set speed, direction. All right, perfect. Let's see if it worked. Oh, I also want to make him go a little faster, though. What was I saying? Like 200 to 300 units a second? Let's do that. Oh, let's do 250. Okay. Minimize, play. Okay, there we go. Now let's see where he kind of goes. I like that little bounce. That might get a little annoying. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so here's a couple things. Yeah. We have to make sure, A, he doesn't go too far. That's not bad, though, for a first attempt. You know, little dance moves and going back and forth, kind of like a typical Zelda thing. And then as long as I'm the one who's coming up and right next to him, he'll start attacking. Yeah, I think we need to increase that distance, though, because I should be, like, getting close to him, but not quite, and he should still try and attack then. Like, as I'm, like, coming up, if he's, like, 200 units, it might be better to just be like, all right, attack. Uh-oh. You went up top. Which, wouldn't be that bad as long as he would be able to, like, jump down or something. But by default, the nav meshes don't really set up jumping all that well. Like here, he should attack me at least once. So that size where we're checking needs to be a little different. Let's take a look at it. And let's just get rid of that for now. Say, are we close enough? 150. Let's make this more like 200, maybe even 250. And, call that a day, essentially. Before we're done here, I want to try and get the damage on the player set up. So you can have like a little back and forth kind of fight. Of course, you can't block or anything, but... And of course, I only have like a single hand working. When you're playing this on a mobile device, you'll have the ability to move and swipe. There we go. Woo! See, it's already kind of cool. I mean, it's very, very Zelda-y, the nice little dance back and forth. Depending on the character, though, depends on how fast you want them to go. I'll lower this down to 200, because I think it's a little fast now. As well as, like, in the behavior tree, like when we're doing certain paths, you may want to, like, okay, this path, he's actually going to speed up a little bit, and be more aggressive, pick points that are closer to the player. But yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So last time when we set up the player, something we did was create a weapon and a weapon class. These are great for our player, but the AI that we're using right now, they don't have like a weapon, so to speak. They have basically it's part of their character. So there's not really like a whole reason why you should be doing a separate object. The separate object just technically holds all the information for the weapon, like what animations to play and what damage it does and things like that. Because, the player can switch through them, it makes sense for them. But for the enemy, if we always keep it where, like, the weapon is a part of that mesh and is all, like, they can't switch weapons, then yeah, it doesn't matter. Which might be the case with some of our enemies, although others might be able to pick weapons up or something later. We're not doing it right now. It'll be good to have, especially if like you have an enemy that just fights with its fists, and you don't want to set up a separate object. Let's make sure it works this way so that we can do it, and we have both options available. And I kind of want to do one more thing too, which is this. We're actually going to do a quick combo. 1-2. Your nice little 1-2 punch kind of thing. Alright. And we're going to say the cooldown for the second attack is a little bit slower. And instead of attack 2A, we're going to do... Which one is this? Let's do this one. That's 4. Attack 4. Ah, come on. Whatever. Okay, so what happens now is... Or, let's just put this up to like 6, pretty high. He'll do the one attack and the second attack, and then this one will cool down a lot longer than this one will. In fact, we can drop this down to about a second or two, or 1.5 seconds, something like that. Keep lowering that one. So we always will do like this first attack. He'll always come up and be like, all right, I'm going to attack. Now, sometimes, if it's not on cooldown, he'll do 2 attacks. Just because it's really, really quick to set up. All right. Next. Damaging the player. So in our weapon system, this is what we have. We have this idea that the weapon collision hits the player and we apply point damage, right? And it's pretty easy, but this is set up so that we can, really control when and how we're hurting the enemy. We have this stuff here, which is our interface for weapons. We're going to have to use that interface on our character for enemies. And essentially set up the same thing just in the enemy itself. Which, that kind of sucks. But, I mean, the only other thing we can do is spawn a fake weapon and attach it to them, and I don't know if I want to do that. Not right now. That would technically be the better way to set this up, though. Because even when I was talking about the thing before, okay, so you have a character that's just going to punch you. You could just have a weapon, basically, that is their fists. And whenever they're unarmed, you just set them to use that weapon. And it's invisible. It's just two boxes that, you put on their hands or something. And that's the weapon collision. Let me look at this. Because then we don't have to redo any of this stuff. We can just use this weapon. So there's a lot that we would solve by keeping this as our main, thing. Yeah, alright, we're going to do it that way. Try and save us some time and some code and keep it clean. So we're going to spawn a default weapon for this guy, but it's going to be whatever we're telling it to be. Okay, so a couple things. Number one is, let's go to our weapons. So this is our default weapon, and it has a box and our mesh. We don't really need it to have a mesh, but we do want to inherit all the stuff. We could just make the mesh invisible, and that'll be fine, I think. Equip. Equip weapon basically says, are we allowed to equip it? And then it unhides or hides it. Where do we do the attachment? Do we do that in the player? Let's see. Blueprints, weapon. No, I mean blueprints, characters, player. Let's go back up to our playgroup. Yeah, we're spawning the default weapon in here. We could move this to our parent class then. That's another thing that's kind of useful. So let's grab both of these. I'm just going to Control C and leave them here just for a second, just in case I don't want to actually delete it. Which I always worry about when I do like a cut and paste. Let's paste that in here. This technically is combat, but we are doing it under begin play. So begin play, we do these things. We spawn our weapon and our shield. And let's toss this here. And I'll just leave it out for now. Okay. Shield socket name, all the stuff we have to set up. So something we can do is just create variables. This will break our character stuff. We'll just have to replace it. It's fine. It's there. Default weapon. There we go. Create variable, create variable, create variable. All right, we're good. Of course, this attached to component thing might have to get moved into the weapon itself, just in case like a weapon has a different hand it should be in, stuff like that. Combat, we're gonna do combat, and then weapon. This one's gonna have to be combat shield, isn't it? No, that's weapon class. Shield is the first one. Shield current, shield socket name, weapon current, weapon socket name. I'm going to just reorder them just slightly. Okay. Okay, by default, our mesh is blank, so who cares for our parent class, but for our enemy and our player, we need to set that up. So player is going to be broken now. Pretty sure we can delete these, but I'll wait just a minute, make sure it's working before I do. It'll be fine, I'm just spawning stuff. Okay. Now this just sets up our timers. We can see that these have zeros in front of them because it's not the thing anymore. I don't think we're using any of this though. Let's make sure we switch out the weapon though. Get weapon current. Change this to a get. We're going to swap it out for these. And we might be able to move some of this to the parent class too. We will see in just a minute. Ooh, it's getting late. References, none to shield, and references, none to that, so let's delete and delete. Find references, no. Find references, no, we're good. Okay. So in our parent class now, parent class, character class, enemy class. We should have access to all of our stuff. So in the player, we have to set up those couple things. Where's our default stuff in the player? Class defaults. I don't think we have damage, do we? Attack 1N, blocked, recoil, flinch big. We do have something cool. Let's do flinch big in there, and death. We just haven't set this up yet, but we set it up in the parent class for everyone, which is nice. Death, got it. And then, where's the other stuff? We got movement, combat, attack, weapon. Again, this will probably have to change to in the weapon itself or something sometime. All right, default weapon class is going to be weapon. Oh, come on. I keep missing. Default shield is going to be shield. And what is our socket now? I forgot. Skeleton, shield, and weapon. Okay. Alright, shield socket name is just shield, and same thing with weapon. Alright, perfect. Let's make sure I spawn that. Nope. Didn't work. Why not? Accessing none weapon current blueprint for VP character. Let's just toss in default weapon and default shield. Well, although you know what we can do here, since we are doing this. So here's the thing. Not all the time an enemy is going to have a weapon and a shield. So we're going to say is valid first. Say, do we have something in here? Because if we don't, then the answer is that we're not going to be using shield or a sword or whatever. And they shouldn't spawn anything. Okay. I'm just going to stack this one, that, copy it, and jump into the default shield. Paste it in and swap this out for... There we go. Okay. So that helps, because shouldn't have to have a sword or a shield. So again, let's just kill that. But for the player, it's not working. So let's figure out why. Okay, player. Let's jump up here. Okay, this is why. We have a begin play. We're not calling the parent. So let's call the parent. And then begin play group. In fact, we could probably put it in here inside the little group here. Although you might forget, but I'm betting that I'll remember that that parent class, that parent call is inside here. Which hopefully I'm right. I do remember it and whatnot. Okay. Same thing with this guy. Right now he's going to have no weapon, no shield. Nothing like that, that's fine, whatever. Alright, next. Oh, come on. Come on, player, what's going on? Call the begin play parent, and begin play parent should do all this stuff. Come on. Right? Begin play, spawn default weapon. Alright, let's double check. No, this is missed again. Shoot. Weapon, shield, weapon, shield. That should be right. Right? Oh, and that's the other problem, I bet. Because this is probably not true. I bet the shield doesn't get spawned. Yeah. So the reason why we didn't get a shield that time is because we spawned default weapon and it failed because we were missing the thing. So it doesn't do anything else. We actually have to hook this up, make sure it goes all the way through. So then we check to see if we should also spawn a shield, even if we don't have a weapon. Same thing here. Which is the annoying and fun parts of blueprints. We're coding like C++ is way easier, I think, so you don't run into those issues. All right, now we need to develop this guy's weapon. All right, so let's look at this, which is weapons. We're gonna make a child class called weapon minion, because this is just our straight up minion guy. And in here, we're gonna remove this. Clear that. It's gonna be no weapon at all. We're just gonna have a box. Okay. We'll have to figure out what the size is and kind of where the offset should be, but for now, this is fine. It's not letting me get rid of that socket, but I think it'll be fine. But, oh well. So, we're not going to be doing much in here at all in terms of updating our weapon. We just have things like equipped and if we're attacking, damaging, and the damaging amount. Which right now, being 1 is fine. Although I don't know how much health the player has. How much health does this guy have? Should be the parent. Yeah, 3. Okay. So the other thing we need to look at is how we're handling weapon attacks. Because we do an attack. And in our case, we're just calculating swipe direction and entering attack based on that swipe direction, right? So we enter attacking, which is an event here, which calls the weapon enter attacking. So, with that in mind, we need to do the same thing for the enemy. But the enemy is calling it here. This perform attack stuff. Could make it our own thing for it. But that's going to be kind of annoying right now. Just to get this up and running, let's do something quick. It's going to be a quick, dirty kind of hack. Because eventually we kind of want to use the other system. But if we do that, then we lose out on this play animation node, which has a couple nice things, which is like it's a task where you can ignore the restarting, or it has to wait until we're done with the animation to do the next one, the non-blocking stuff. So we could probably build off of this one, I think. But that's going to be more work right now. So instead, I'm going to jump to this guy here. Open him up. And let's put in the notifies. So we have notifies from previously. Now this one doesn't have for these skeletons though. So let's see what we called them on the player. Characters, player, animation blueprint. Damage begin, damage end is what we're looking for. So the enter attacking and exit attacking is really for the player right now, at least. It's not really for the AI as much. This just tells us, hey, we can either attack again, or B, we can start moving and things like that. So this is what we really need. Damage begin and damage end. So we're going to do new notify called begin and damage end. So that's right here, actually. We're going to do this. That's damage end. Okay. We need to do the same thing for attack 4. I mean, we'll have to do it for all of them, but right now, damage begin somewhere like right here, and damage end somewhere right here. We can always tweak this later. All right, back in our minion animation stuff, we're gonna do damage begin, damage end. Now let's make sure that this is going to work with our class settings. Yeah, we do have weapons in here. So that's for everyone, essentially. Enter death state, enter attacking, enter damaged. So we could, in here, in theory, just toss in the begin damaged and end damaged stuff, right? Which will grab whatever weapon we have and turn it on and off. So event begin damage, or enter damage, enter damaging, event exit damaging. The other thing we could do is just in the character have a call to get your current weapon and then not do it this way. And we'll get back to it. We're just gonna be a little messy right now. Weapon current, and we're going to call the same thing. Enter damage, no. Enter damaging. Exit damaging. Okay. This stuff here is good. Just compile and save. The player character, I think, overrides this already. Which is probably the same exact thing. Right? Yeah, it is. So we can actually delete these. Because it's just the same thing. Alright, perfect. And now in our... where is it? Enemy. We have to give it the correct weapon now. Default weapon is going to be weapon minion. And we got to figure out the socket for this guy. So in our mesh, let's go to skeleton. Let's see, what is going to be good for this? It's going to be the right hand. They have a weapon R. So that's an actual bone. We have a bunch of things for all their different weapon stuff, but we could take weapon R and use that. Let's grab this and create a socket called... we're just going to call it weapon like we have been doing. Even though, again, probably not the best idea. We're going to have to change that eventually. And we're going to do add preview mesh, which is going to be the sword thing. Because this is going to be as close to this as we can get, right? Actually, I don't remember. Shoot. Let's take a look at weapons. BP weapon. Is this facing the right way, or is this rotated? Weapon is down X, positive, zeroed out. Default scene zeroed out, yeah. Collision is 2, that'll be fine. So yeah, we're just going to match it up. You know, eventually we would split out the weapon, I guess, and do it that way, but we're going to be doing this and trying to match it up to our thing here. So if you can imagine, the box itself is going to be like kind of around there. So that's perfect. Okay, back in character enemy. This is going to be called the weapon socket. Oop, come on. Get rid of these. Well, let's see what happens. Wonder if the sword's going to be there. I think it should be. I can't see though. I'm not getting hit either. Let's see. Let's go to the parent class, jump into here. Let's actually toss it in there, press play. Character enemy. Yeah, it's spawning it. So it should get it. You know what we're going to do? Weapon minion. Let's just toss the sword in there so we can see it. To make sure it's actually working. Plus we need this to line up, yeah. And then we'll just turn it invisible for now. Again, we need to fix a lot of this. It's still very hacky. Still didn't get hit though. Alright, we need to go to character. Damaging, exiting, damaging. And it's not calling it there. Did we not set up the blueprint correctly? No, we never did. I'm doing so bad right now. Alright. Get owner, our minion, and do the thing. Gosh. Damaging. No, not damaged. Exit damaging. Alright. We still have to set it up what happens when the player dies too, I think. But there we go. Let's do all that. I didn't see anything happen. Okay. Yeah, that's not getting called at all. Why? Why is that? What would be causing this to not call our notifies? That's so weird. Come on. Why would notifies not be called? Oh, hold on. Oh, that's weird. Why do we have a bunch of these? That's 13. There you go. That's weird. Well, let's see if it's doing it here now. No, still nothing. Darn. I was hoping it was just because it wasn't set up on here. Well, this one isn't even going now. 15? I think this has to do with the behavior tree thing. That it's like continuously adding and removing these. See, that's not good either. All right, let's do a test, just to see. Instead of using their specific node, let's do something else real quick. No, yeah, let's keep it connected, but not gonna do oh, I guess I can't connect it. We're gonna do a new task. Something I didn't want to have to do right now, but oh well. Blueprint behavior tree task, BTT. AI attack. I'll call this AI melee attack. I'm just going to melee. Like a generic melee attack, which we should probably update and make it use, more of our systems and stuff, but right now we're not. So we get an execute AI, receive execute AI, and it says, okay, do this. We also need a receive abort AI, and we're going to do a finish execute and a finish abort, because I think we need both of those. What we're going to do is just say play an animation. As long as we play that animation, we're successful, right? Get mesh or cast a character. Get mesh. That's fine. We can delete that, but we need this thing. Validated. Play animation. Wonder if we could do like a play montage. See, this gives us a latent function, but the problem is I don't know if latent functions really work here. You know, this AI task kind of thing. I feel like they should, but I have no idea. Let's do this, uncompleted success. And we're just going to give it an animation of that primitive variable. Yeah, this will be attack montage. And this is going to say the same thing except abort to your attack montage. Stop doing it. Stop montage. I don't see. I want to stop montage. Let's just try stop. I wonder if this will work on interrupted or something like that. Alright, compile that. It's fine. Let's just try it. Let's see if this is the problem. We're going to do this. There. Save. Okay. Oh, I need to do the montage though. So, before this will work, jump here. Create animation montage. And okay. And then same thing with 4, I think it was. Attack 4, yeah. Create animation montage. Am melee attack _4. And these will just be default group. Well, that's fine. I don't think we really need to mess with this stuff too much yet. We might after. Oh, and then in here, we actually have to make this editable. So then out here, we have this attack montage, which is going to be attack melee 2. Okay. Let's just see what happens now. Okay, play montage gets hit. Play. Notify begins. Oh man. I can't believe that their thing doesn't work with stuff. That's really annoying. Alright, so in this case we go in and we tell it. Alright, stop. Let's go ahead and just remove all these debugs real quick. Okay. Let's see if I get damaged. Ah, man. I didn't see it. I feel like that should definitely have hurt me. Oh, not that. Come on. Let's go to our weapon. Let's go to this and this. I'm wondering, is there something in here? Damaging. Nothing happened though, so yeah, let's go ahead and let's just follow this through real quick. Okay. Weapon current, which is minion weapon, enter damaging Goes into enter damaging. Can we damage? We're attacking. It's false. Okay. That's why. So, we have a secondary thing that's helping us make sure that we're not damaging when we shouldn't be, which is this idea that the character has to also be like in an attacking state. We're not putting the minion into that yet. So we need to fix that. But now that we did this melee attack stuff, we can start doing that now. Which essentially means that when we hit the state, or when we hit this moment, we're going to throw them into the attacking state. And then when we are leaving, either interrupted or completed, we do the same thing. We take them out of the state. I don't think the other... Because there's also another attack, but that's, I think, for... I wonder, did I do that in the animations for the player? Because we could do it there if that's how I set it up already. Let's see. I need the characters, not mannequin, player, animation blueprint. There's exit attacking, but not entering. Okay. So essentially what we're saying is the moment we start our attack, we're in the attacking state, and then there's a point in the animation that we say, okay, you're done attacking, you can move, you can do whatever. But that might not be the end of the animation. So we essentially need one for these guys. Maybe towards the end. Add notify, new notify called exit attack. Okay, so we swing down, we hit, and now at this point he could technically attack again, right? So we have this, so like when we're blending out, he can go right into another attack as opposed to going back. Or he can start moving around and doing stuff as he stands up, essentially. Somewhere in here. And, that should be fine. Back into our animation blueprint. Exit attack. Exit attacking. Pile save, that's great. Let's go back to our minion. Or not our minion, our behavior task. Here we go. What we're going to say is in here, enter attacking. Pretty sure that this is set up in the parent class, but we got to double check that we didn't accidentally just put it in the player thing still. Yeah, so we have enter attacking here, in which we want to play certain animations, and we tell our weapon that we're attacking, but the player or the parent also needs to have some sort of implementation of this. So do we have an enter attacking? Here we go. Enter attacking, yeah, just says we're attacking. Perfect. All right. Now it might work. I don't know, maybe not. Come on. Where are we missing it now? Okay. Something else we should do is probably keep this guy in the arena with the EQS stuff to say, hey, what do you want to call it? I'm trying to think. What do you want to call it? Like, yeah, some radius of like place that the enemy should be staying. So if we have like a a level, and they're supposed to be in a spot that they kind of actually stay there. They don't chase the player forever or something, or get lost, doing some other thing. Okay, so we're entering the attack, and we should be able to do this stuff. This just says, hey, are we in combat and are we attacking? Which I thought that the AI should be in combat, because we're here, setting it in combat and setting the focus. We definitely have a focus. So, what's the problem? Oh, I think I know. So in the player, we're actually doing this too here. Okay, we're going to take this enter attacking thing, toss it on our parent class, enter attack, paste. Same thing for exiting. Oh wait, that's combat state. Exit attack. I'm going to say exit attacking. And what we can do in the player then is actually clear out some of that stuff. So the can attack stuff, I don't think we've updated in the player, and even if we did, I don't think we need to do it here. Essentially, what we need to do is just ask, did we make it into the attacking state? Because we're doing this, and we're calling the parent. And the parent already does all this stuff. Oh, not combat, sorry. Where's my attacking? Enter attacking. Oh, I'm not calling the parent. I can call the parent now. Let's do this. Call the parent. Call the parent. Instead of doing, well, actually, even this one, I don't need this now at all. So I can remove this whole thing. The exit attacking, nothing changes. Enter attacking. The only thing that changes is we're also playing this animation. And all we're going to do is check to see if we got through the attack setup or not. Oh, come on. So we do all that. We're going to say get attacking. As long as that's true, then we're going to play our animation, which again should be moved over to our weapon eventually. We'll get there at some point. All right, that should be good. Let's see if I can still attack and everything works or not. Yeah, it works. There we go. So I'm able to damage him. See if he can damage me. Yeah, there we go. So I just took some damage. Let's see if I can play the death animation. Although, yeah. Yeah, nothing actually happens after. So, nice. When I die, so player character on death. Do I have a death thing here yet? I don't think so. Let's put it in. Event to death. We're going to do the parent stuff, which for our case, what does that mean? We're no longer alive, stop movement, play the montage, hide us. Okay. And then what we're also going to do, okay, we also need to do this though, in death. Hide actor. We also want to hide. We actually can do it this way, I think. Self, shield, weapon. Of course, if these are null, we'll probably get an error. So we should be setting it up to deal with it better. But we do that, and we go to here, and we're going to do a get controller. Oh. I don't think we have a player controller set up for this yet. Cast to player We do have a BP player controller. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, though. We're going to get the camera. Camera manager has a nice little option for fading out to black real quick. Start camera fade. We're going to hold when finished, which means that it should stay to whatever, like the black color, until we tell it not to, which in our case will be never. We're just going to reload the level. So from alpha 0 to alpha 1 over the course of, I don't know, like 2 seconds. And then we're just going to throw a delay in here for now. Say 2 seconds, or even like 3 seconds, and then get level name and open level. No, level name. Just gotta convert it. Okay, that's good. So it's our really, really quick restart, but we can do that. You know, that's nice. He's gonna keep going up there. Just because when he first initially sees me, I think he decides that he's just gonna move to whatever location is there. So another thing we could do is update the move path like over time to say, hey, how close is it really to the character now? I think we could also lower this down a little bit. So we interrupted his attack, and now I think he's stuck. Let's take a look at that. Behavior tree. Yeah, we're stuck in here. Because I guess it's not running anymore. Finish abort. Finish abort doesn't work, so I think what we have to do is this. Finish execute as unsuccessful. Let's do it as a switch, I guess. Or, you know, hold on, no, not a switch. We can just do it. Nah, shoot. Let's just do it that way and then put this over here. It's fine. We don't have to get to this point at all. Let's try that. Okay. Got him one. Oh, got me once. Got me twice and then I'm dead. I feel like that's wrong. Come on. That's fine for now. Now we have kind of a back and forth game though, which is nice. Ugh. So way too fast. See? I feel like that was just 2 hits. Having an error with enter death. Trying to read property none for shield. Yeah, because I haven't checked on the shield to see if we actually have one when he dies. That's fine. I'm not going to... I'll fix that next time. But yeah, let's do a few things real quick before we're done. We got this. Let's go back to my behavior tree and let's try and add in the secondary melee stuff. For A, delete that. And I'm just going to make this a smaller node called melee. Although it's not getting any smaller. I was hoping it would condense it down, but it doesn't. Okay. And then I also want to, let's just get rid of that for now. What we need is characters, enemy, this circle step. So this is still pretty big, the 500. I'm actually going to bring it down. So let's just bring this into 100 to, like, I don't know, 300. And there we go. And now hopefully he doesn't move as far away as he is. Because I can move pretty much away from him at all times. Ooh, got me. Oh, see, we did the combo there. I think it did. Yeah, see there. Although we need to do it a little bit faster. Oh, I can't actually attack. Why not? Oh, it's because I got interrupted. Same kind of thing. Probably, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's too bad. We got a bug that we got to figure out. We do have to clean up basically everything I was just doing too, in terms of the. Oh, like that. So you can die multiple times, and I also think I killed him, but he didn't die. There you go. So there's a lot of things like that where it's not quite right. So we have to dig into the parent character code, see what's going on there. We need to simplify up some of those calls between like the animation and like the weapon, for instance. And we need to double check a lot of the things like, okay, if I am taking damage, I can't take damage again this frame. Or not this frame, this basically this attack. So I'll play my damaged, state animation. And, the next frame, it won't damage me again because the thing is still swiping through me, the sword. So there's a lot of those things we got to do. Gameplay-wise, we need to get in some dodging or something because... but yeah, so that works, though, which is nice. Oh, I died. That one is something we can fix pretty easy, I think. The multiple death thing. So what's going on there? I thought we had this set up to not die more than once, but I bet we don't in the player. Yeah. So only if we are alive, we set to not be alive anymore, and we do all this stuff. So when this gets called again, in the player class, we aren't checking to see if we're already dying, necessarily. So we have to do that. Let's go ahead and just toss this into a group. All right. Enter death. Oh. There we go. Okay. So a couple ways we can do it. We can always allow the parent to get called, no matter what. But then... See, it's a weird thing, because I feel like the animation's still playing, but the animation should only be in here, setting alive to false, and this only should happen if we are alive. And the player could just guard it this way, which is pretty easy. Anyway, let's test it real quick. That should fix at least our problem for now with it. But it's still only 2 hits. I swear I had 3 health with my character. So what's happening with that? I don't know. We'll come back to it. I think this is enough. I think I've been on here for like 3 hours. Mostly not getting things done quickly enough. Just been kind of tired and stuff, so you know, messing up blueprints and stuff probably isn't the best route to go for development on this. That was the other thing I wanted to do real quick, which is to tighten up the animations here. So we got montages. We can tighten up real fast, which is just basically telling it when to start playing and stop playing. So we got attack 2. We got a linear blend in, which is fine. I'm actually going to bring this pretty quick, 0.1. And 0.1 is going to be how many frames in? Right about here. So this is actually a bit too long. We're going to do 0.05. Which you can see the time down here is 0.04. So he's going to get to this position real quick. I mean, technically what we would want to do is just spread this part out quite a bit. Which we could do. You could take this and kind of set it up a little better. You know what, let's do that. Before I'm done today, I want to do this. Alright, melee attack 2. That's the first one we're using, so let's go ahead and duplicate this little guy here. 2A, I'm going to say 2 init. Or what's the animation term for it? It's like a wind up or a... there's a term for it. I can't think of it. See, not doing well today. All right, so this guy here. Cool, wonderful, awesome. We got all this. We're not going to do any of this stuff. Exit attack, damage, all these things, no. Delete all that. We're just going to get him up into this spot right before he's going to be attacking, so about 4 frames, and we're going to remove everything else. That's gone. We're going to have these 4 frames. And we're going to scale it down pretty low. Cool. We're going to call this one in, and the other one called out for now. Okay, duplicate again, and call this one to out. Same thing, we're just going to go in and take 4 and remove 0 to 4. We do technically have this one, but that's fine, we're just going to leave it there, it's fine. Okay. Now this is going to be a little wonky, I think, but I want to try it out because this is fun. We got an in, we have an out, and we're going to remove the first one. So that's our animation now. We're going to do a little bit more of a blend in time because our blend in time now can last up until like 0.2 or 0.25 or somewhere in here, you know. And then bam. So let's do 0.25 and our blend out 0.25. It should be fine as well now. Okay. And let's take a look and see if we can like dodge these attacks now. At least the first one. Yeah. So something like that's kind of nice. Oh. Except I just died instantly. What is going on with my health? Okay. Again, we should do it for the other attack too, but yeah, it's not bad then. Another thing that I noticed is that when we die, our camera still turns, and so does our character. This is because they're not actually supposed to be updating, but they're on our tick and things like that. We should be turning that off when we die. Ooh, I forgot about that other attack. But now I can interrupt, which is nice. And he still attacks and does all that stuff. So yeah. Now I'm a champion. Should have a nice use of that victory pose, because I have a victory pose for this character where she jumps up all happy after you defeat an enemy. Yeah, and that's about it, I think, for today. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully next time my brain keeps up with me and I can, slow down quite as much. We'll see. Take it easy.